Hey, so I wanted to make a video to talk about something I think we all relate to, which is how to say no. It can be to people, to situation, to things in general. Um, I definitely had time where I was kind of saying yes to everything and everybody, and at some point I kind of became kind of overwhelmed with all the things that I was saying yes to and all the people I was saying yes to, and and I think becoming mindful of just what we say yes to, and like just thinking a little more about like what we are agreeing to. I think it would avoid like some frustration and some regrets later. And also I think for the commitment, like it would make the commitment way easier. At least in my experience, it's definitely the case. So yeah, so the first case where I personally started to say no is people that don't value my time. You kind of know, like most of the time you know, but at some point, especially I'm talking about my experience, but at some point I was saying yes to like everybody, literally, to the point where I didn't even have time for myself, and I kind of like I was like so overwhelmed because I definitely need like I think everybody need this time, but I personally need this time just spending like with myself basically, like thinking, um, like being more in introspective, being more introspective, and just like just spending time with myself and recharging. And I think because I was saying yes to everybody and everything, um, I didn't have that time for me, and it kind of like it leads to burnout. It leads to like dissatisfaction, and also like a lot of like frustration because you accepted, but at the same time you didn't really wanted that. So you're kind of like in the and most of the time actually I notice, especially for me, at the time I was like accepting and saying yes to everything and everybody. I think it's more like I thought that was kind, like that I was being nice, and actually you're not, like it's not nice because you're accepting and you're saying yes. For example, like you have friends that are inviting you to something, you know that you don't want to go or you can't go, and you're accepting just because you are being kind. You're actually kind of like, it's kind of hypocrite because like you don't want to spend this time, and maybe those people are like this thing, maybe it's important, and maybe it's important for those people, and maybe like the investment is not equal, right? So I think it's better to just learn to say no. If you don't want to go somewhere, just say no. If you don't want to do something, just say no. I had so many situations where I would just say yes. Like I think it was my people pleasing tendency. I'm definitely way better with this now. Definitely, because I think I'm more aware that I'm doing it, and also I've learned to actually ask myself what I want. Before doing something, is it really something that I want? Is it really someone that I want to spend time with? Is it someone that I want to, like, do I want this person in my life? And I feel like my connection with people, my relationship are way more true and way more significant because I'm choosing, and because I'm way more selective that I was before, and also I have way more time for myself. So yeah, I would definitely advise learning to say no. There's this saying, it's either holy yes or hell no. like there's no mix, there's no like a middle. Okay, like most of the time we kind of know, and because society or maybe like the social pressure is telling you you have to do this or you have to do that, and then you kind of like say yes, but you don't really want to, and then it's kind of like dishonest for other people, you know, because maybe they are interested, or maybe this thing is actually important, but don't really, you're not really invested in it, you know. So yeah, that's the first thing. Most of the time, so I would say I know it's kind of all over the place, but um, yeah, the first thing I started to say no to is people that don't value my time, because if they don't value my time, I don't see why I should spend time with them. And it's not to blame anyone, okay? It's just like, yeah, I think, and also that's another thing, I think respect is very important in any relationship that you have. So yeah, valuing people that actually value you, you know. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Second thing is to say no to things or like activities that you don't want to do. Like if you're not at this, like it's the same thing. If you're not invested in an activity, there's no point in saying yes to it. Even though like maybe you have like other people that are saying, oh, you're gonna miss out. I think this is the FOMO thing, like the fear of missing out. But maybe it's just a fear, and maybe it's just like an illusion, and maybe you will not, like most of the time I think it's a fear of regretting something. But most of the time, like if you don't want to do that thing, you're not gonna regret it, trust me. So, and maybe you can spend that time doing something that you actually want to do, instead of accepting something that you don't really want to do and then regretting going to it, you know. So I think it's also like just being aware of like what you really like doing and what you really want to do, and just valuing these things instead. Okay, the third thing is say no to things that society pushes you to either want or like get, or like makes you think that you need, or like it makes you think that you have to buy or whatever. You know, there's so many things that society kind of like pushes us to want. I don't know if you have that situation, like you go to this supermarket or this shop and you're not like you didn't plan on buying anything, right? But you go there and you kind of like start buying stuff just like this, like without like a. I think it's kind of like it happened to a lot, like a probably happened to a lot of people, but I noticed this. You know, like you go to this shop and you're not planning to buy anything, you're just looking, and I think because of the advertisement, because of the advertisement, because what the fuck? And I think because of the advertisement and the marketing, they have like strategies to like kind of market the product to make you want to buy it. And it's a lot of psychology actually. So it's kind of like manipulating the customer to want to buy something, even though they probably don't need it. But they make you think that you need this product. It's like this thing, you want it. And I'm gonna make you want to buy it, because without this product, you can't live. You can't have a good life without it. No, I'm kidding. But it's kind of like that actually. And it's the funny thing is actually a lot of people buy things without knowing that, and it's kind of, well, it's funny and sad at the same time, because they buy things because of those strategies. like marketing strategies, and and I think a lot of people kind of buy without actually thinking, and yeah, I don't know. And most of the time, actually, if you notice, most of the time you notice that you kind of buy these things, like it's kind of like piles up in your house, and you put it in the side, and it's kind of like those things kind of end up in like the dark drawer, or like this, like I don't know. Um, so yeah, and also at the same time, it's, I think it's just becoming aware of why we are buying things and saying no to some things, you know, if it doesn't align with what we want, you know. Okay, last thing I wanted to talk about something that I started to do, in the beginning of the year, is to have a list of things and people to say no to. So I would have this list, and sometimes I would have like in the end of every month, I would have this list, and it's like say no to da da da, say no to da da, or like this month I said I I would have preferred saying no to, or maybe it would have been better if I said no to this or that person, you know. And it's very interesting because you notice that there's so many things we say yes without being aware of why we're saying yes, and like if we really want to say yes, we kind of say yes like automatically, or like a robot kind of thing, you know. And I think most of the time it kind of like brings a lot of frustration because you say yes to things that actually don't align with your values, or maybe the thing you want. So yeah, so this video is an invitation to start saying no, and kind of like being aware of what you want, and saying no to anything that doesn't align with that thing or that vision, or like, yeah. And this, like, just starting to say no is kind of like life changing, because you will start having so much time. It's so like it's insane. Like, because I remember um like just actually like last year, I would say yes to a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of like parties and events, and then I would notice that like my time would kind of like go really fast, and I would not have time for myself. So now that I've kind of started to say no to way more things, and especially when I know for sure that I don't want to do something. Um, yeah, I noticed I have way more energy, way more time, and I feel way more like I feel way better, you know. And also, last thing, if people, because I experienced that as well, if you have people around you pressuring you in saying yes to something that you don't really want to do, like be very how can I say, firm with your no. Like I don't know, like just being firm. Like you, if it's a no, it's a no, because um, sometimes maybe it can be like people that actually like your like people that you love, and they kind of like pressure you, just kind of um, as a habit of doing it and knowing that it worked. And it doesn't have to be like coming from a bad intention, but I feel like sometimes people kind of do it kind of like mechanically and not really thinking of uh, what they're doing. And so if you have like loved one or like friends, you know, that kind of like pressure you to do something, and you're like, no, no, I can't. And they're like, yeah, but please, you know, da 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 da. No, no, just be firm in your no. It's no, no, it's no, okay? And if they really don't understand, try to explain to them why and stuff. But if they really don't understand, maybe start asking yourself, do you really want those people in your life if they don't respect your boundaries? Because it really comes to that, you know. It's about like respect and respect of boundaries, and I think this is one of the most important thing, you know. So that was just a quick video to talk about things to start saying yes, no to, no to. Okay. So yeah. So I would ask you, like, try to make a list. What maybe you've been saying yes to a lot, and maybe you should start saying no to. And just ask yourself this question, like, what have I been saying yes to, and even though I was thinking no. So yeah, so that's just a quick question for you. What should I start saying no to? So I hope you like this video, and I hope it helped you in some way, and I will see you on my next video.